I think I was originally scheduled to take it in the beginning of January, but ended up pushing my date back just to give me a little extra time to prepare. But um, yeah, I think I kept a study log throughout the process. So for the FE, I spent approximately 350-ish hours of study time, and then for the PE, about 450 hours. The the background as far as like understanding theory, but yeah, it was all new to me. So I realized I was really going to have to dig deep and put the time and effort in.
You looked at the PE exam preparation, interestingly, from a different lens. That this is my opportunity to actually learn the fundamentals, right? Learn the concepts.
Even though the goal was to pass the exam on the first attempt, obviously, I was trying to think outside of that scope and really see how this could pay dividends just, for my future, just being a better engineer. So.
Hello, Nick. How's it going?
Good. How are you, Wasim?
I'm doing very well. So, Nick, congratulations on passing your P Power exam in the first attempt. So, we are doing this interview after you cleared both FE and PE. You took the FE exam in 2023, a few months ago, and dived pretty much right into the P Power exam prep. So, how about, Nick, you give me an overview of when you graduated, when you started thinking about the FE, how you prepared for FE, and what led you to PE, and what was your journey like overall?
Yeah, sure. So I graduated back in 2018 with my bachelor's in electrical engineering. And then I had about 4 years of work experience in the oil and gas industry. And then recently just started a new job where I was surrounded by more PEs in the workplace. And it got me curious and asking the question, is this something that I want for myself? And it turned out, that is something that I wanted to pursue. So I believe it was in March of 2023 is when I enrolled in your on-demand lectures.
For FES.
Yeah.
And you started your preparation with my on demand, but I believe at some point you joined my live training as well, or you just used the on demand course.
So for FE, it was just on-demand course,
Okay,
in your study guide. I used that as well.
right. And how long it took you to prepare for the FE exam?
Let's see. So I started in March and I ended up taking the exam in July,
Okay, so that's about 4 months, give or
about
take.
4 months. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. And then you took a little bit of time off in summer, right? And then you started my P Power program. You did the on demand plus live, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. It took about a month off in the summer, and then I wanted to keep the momentum going and enrolled in your live training program for the PE.
Right. And when you started your PE Power exam preparation, I think that you were playing a catch up game with the on demand content as well as the live training. So it does get overwhelming to an extent. And your strategy was that you're going to go through the September to November live training as far as you could or as much as you could keep up. And then you continued along with your preparation, right, with the goal of really giving yourself some extra time to consolidate what you've learned, and then you took the exam in Feb 2024, this month,
Yeah, so very end of January, like January 30th is when I took it.
end of Jan. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just wanted to give myself a little extra time because of the holidays to close out the year. So I think I was originally scheduled to take it in the beginning of January, but ended up pushing my date back just to give me a little extra time to prepare. But um, yeah, I think I kept a study log throughout the process. So for the FE, I spent approximately 350-ish hours of study time, and then for the PE, about 450 hours.
Wow. So PE does take more time, right?
Yes, PE does take more time.
And when did you recognize that the PE exam preparation is going to be more intense?
Probably early on. Even though I graduated in 2018, a lot of the FE material outside of computer networks and systems was still somewhat of a refresher for me.
Right.
And starting the PE material, I realized I didn't take any power system courses during my undergrad, so it was all new to me. I had the the background as far as like understanding theory, but yeah, it was all new to me. So I realized I was really going to have to dig deep and put the time and effort in. And it was enjoyable. I enjoy learning this stuff. It's directly applicable to what I'm doing now for work. So I enjoyed the process, and I was trying to, even though the goal was to pass the exam on the first attempt, obviously, I was trying to think outside of that scope and really see how this could pay dividends just for my future, just being a better engineer. So
Right. So your motivation was twofold. On the external side of things, you want to pass the exam, and intrinsically, you also wanted to become a better power systems engineer. Your story is also interesting, Nick, because a lot of times what happens is that folks have good, strong, exposure, if not strong competency or expertise in power systems. Um, when they're taking the FE exam, and for them, it's really the computer side of things that's kind of challenging. In your case, it's sort of the other way around, that you started working as an electrical engineer within the power capacity, right, doing the design aspect of things and essentially learning a lot of things. You're a smart guy, so I have no doubt that you picked up what you had to, on the go, on the fly, on the job, right? But you looked at the P exam preparation, interestingly, from a different lens. That this is my opportunity to actually learn the fundamentals, right? Learn the concepts. So I'm not surprised that you were comfortable putting in more time and effort, because you're looking at it as a killing two birds with one stone, right?
exactly, yeah, I really try to, and that made it easier to prepare, right? Because my learning doesn't stop with this exam. I want to keep building off the momentum that and to keep learning, because I think us as engineers, we kind of signed on to a career worth of learning, and that's something that excites me. So yeah, for me, that was the healthy way of looking at this journey.
Right. And what about the confidence that you drew or are still drawing from your preparation? Having passed this exam in the first attempt, that is a great feather in your cap, right? Because a lot of folks, when you ask around and you talk to people, or online forums and whatnot, people take sometimes multiple attempts to take this exam, because it's or pass this exam, because it's so challenging, right? So having passed it on the first attempt, that's fine, but the actual learning that happened, going through that exercise. So have you seen any difference in how you're approaching different things at work, and the terminology that you're using, and the conversations to which you're adding to?
Oh yeah, 100%. That's honestly been, outside of the getting that passing score. That's been the most rewarding part of it, is just seeing it pay dividends immediately at work. Even before I took the exam, as I'm learning the content, being able to explain things to my peers, that they've been doing this longer than me but didn't understand fully. And it's nice being able to sort of teach others, share the knowledge, not to put myself, a rung above anyone or anything like that. I enjoy sharing, what I've.
Right. Right. Okay, can you give a couple of examples where you've had those aha moments, where you felt like, I'm in control of what, I'm discussing, and I know inside out what I'm, contributing to?
Yeah, just like understanding. So right now I do work for electric utility. I do consulting for an electric utility. So a lot of three lines and a lot of CT connections, and just being able to explain to people, you know, you know, the dot convention and accuracy classes, and
Right.
why you would specify this CT for this purpose and that maybe not for this purpose. So what did I just have? It was something interesting, actually. Oh, you know, not all of the utilities relays are upgraded to the microprocessor type. There's still actually quite a few mechanical relays out there.
Yes.
And I was explaining to a coworker why, once this set of CTs was hooked up in a Delta configuration, because they had to compensate for the transformers, the difference between the primary and secondary
Y and delta,
windings
yeah.
for the phase shift, and then also
Yes.
compensating, for the difference in magnitude, so that the
Right.
differential relay operates correctly. So that was like an aha moment, when I when
Oh
I
yeah,
was able to
that's
put
a
that
deep
together.
concept. That's a very deep concept,
Yeah.
and very few people, if you stop them in their way, right? And that's the analogy I use. Like, you have a senior engineer going to the cafeteria, coming from the washroom, or going upstairs, downstairs, wherever, and you hold them. You'll be like, okay, I have this differential setup, and the primary is a delta, and the secondary is a y. So how will I go about sizing a CT on the primary? What will be the configuration of the CT, right? So all those detailed things, and it does give you a confidence boost, and it gives you, a sense of that, okay, I have the ability to learn. Okay, I may not know it right away, but I've gone through the preparation of such a challenging exam that I was able to absorb the concepts, and now I'm able to right away apply it. That's the beauty, right? Because if you're working in a technical capacity, what you learn, if you're able to apply or teach or discuss or build upon, that is an amazing feeling. And in the MEP environment, you actually get to experience that a lot more than maybe as an owner's engineer. But some people are more comfortable with it, so they actually gravitate towards those roles. But what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, definitely. I I enjoy the consulting field, and I think if anything, it's even if I don't know something, the preparation has made it so that I know the right questions to ask. I know I sort of know what I don't know at this point.
It's amazing because if you know what you don't know, you can always seek the right answers and become resourceful, and that's part of being an engineer, right? That's amazing. And in terms of your exam preparation, like, if I were to ask you for three advice, three tips, three recommendations to make your P power exam prep easier, more manageable, right? What comes to your mind?
Ooh, three tips to make it
Or make it
easier.
four. Doesn't matter.
Let's see. You know, I guess just communicate well with your family and loved ones and peers. Let them know. Yeah, you have to have good from the onset, because it's not just you taking this exam. It's everyone in your life. That depends on you. So let them know. You're not going to be as available, and it's an investment. And I think that will help a lot. Because it's already hard enough to prepare for this exam. So to have other external stressors, that's just gonna, yeah, it might become overwhelming. So
That's a
that's
golden
that's
prize
definitely one.
for sure.
Yeah, and one thing I did early on in my actually starting back in the FE is I think one of the books you recommended was Atomic Habits. Um, but I think it was James Clear, right? So I would recommend, giving that book a listen, or one of the other books you recommend, because um, that was something for me, was finding, I work from home, or and also in the office, a hybrid model right now. But what works best for me is to separate work and home from my study time. So I would always go to the library or to a coffee shop, and sort of just training myself when I'm here. This is meant for studying. So removing as many distractions as you can.
Right. That's an amazing book. I mean, I don't think we can simplify that book in 2 minutes, 3 minutes, but
No.
I would say that your second advice, that go read that book, is amazing. Okay, what's number three?
Number three is, I sort of already touched on this, but yeah, try not to be. I mean, obviously, everyone wants to pass the exam, and that's the goal, right? But try to view it through the lens of, like, this might be your last time, really learning in this capacity, right? Setting this time aside, and learning, and this could set you up for the rest of your career,
For
not
sure.
just for, passing this exam and getting this title, which is, an accomplishment in and of itself. But, try to think, even bigger picture than that,
Yeah, yeah. Like, enjoy the journey and have a learning mindset. Don't just be fixated on passing the exam, which obviously will happen when you put in the time and effort. 450 hours of P power, 350 hours for FE. I mean, that time is not going, wasted. It's not being wasted when you're using the right effective exam prep resources, are being consistent with your preparation, are in the right mindset. So the result will come, but don't push yourself too hard, in the sense that don't make it a matter of life and death. If you are more open and enjoying the journey, it will happen. It will be much more fun along the way. Cool. So
Exactly.
thanks again for your time, Nick, and many congratulations. Kudos to you for in making it happen in less than 12 months. You started your FE prep, you mentioned, in March, and you got your PE exam cleared in end of Jan. So definitely less than 12 months. And a lot of folks would take it with both hands in terms of passing these exams back to back. A lot of hard work definitely went into it, and and along the way you actually learned quite a bit as well and enjoyed your journey. So that's an added bonus.
Yes. Thank you. Yep.
If you like this video, then please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Feel free to ask me any questions in the comment section of this video below. You can find tons of success stories of my FE Electrical and PE Power students over here. And if you want to learn more about preparation of FE Electrical and Computer exam and the PE Power exam, then check out these playlists over here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon in the next video.